Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa, and I'm so excited to welcome Layke to the show. She is an indie dream pop artist, and I think you are on fire. Look at that purple hair and the pink pants. Wow.
Thank you so much.
You're
for
so
having me.
Instagrammable.
You are. You want to take a picture just right next to her, right?
I'm colorful.
You are colorful, and so is your music. How would you describe your style?
I think my style's come a long way. I evolved sort of what started as a younger punk rock and rock musician into an electronic sort of sweet spot with dream pop, and it's ethereal, but it still allows some live instruments in, and I think we've had a lot of fun with it, with what me and my producer Adrian Gervitz created for the album.
Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing here.
Well, this is Beautiful War, and this is the first single from my first EP release. And this is a video done by Tim Sisenti, who is an amazing director. He worked with like Phantogram, Depeche Mode, and Zola Jesus, various artists that I really respected. And so when I saw some of his work, I was like, I need to work with this man. And we went out into the middle of the desert, and it was 115 degrees. It was when that huge, in the middle of the summer, heat wave hit.
Yes.
And they held me as long as they could offset, and it was... I get there at 6 p.m. and it's 1:15, and I'm wandering through the desert with drones and tripping over rocks, and we made it look really cool, but it was actually kind of a really crazy experience, and we pulled it off, so we're really proud of what we did. And yeah, it's kind of coming to, I'm on my own alien planet, and then they kind of come find me and take me to theirs.
Your alien planet of Joshua Tree.
No, it's actually Trona Pinnacles is where he filmed it. But I've always kind of felt that I'm, a bit of an alien on this planet. I'm from another planet. I've just kind of always been quirky and different, and that's just, so it made a lot of sense when Tim came to me with the concept. It made a lot of sense.
Were you like that even as a child?
Yeah. My parents always said I was a really deep thinker, and I felt things really sensitively that other kids didn't necessarily feel, and I was kind of always on my own little tip, what I mean, of doing things. So they kind of just let me do my thing, and it worked out.
Yeah. When did you start, or when were you able to embrace that different way about you? Was there a certain point or time that you remember you were sort of like, you know what, this is just who I am, and I'm going to accept it and embrace it?
I think, I grew up in Dallas, Texas. It's a very conservative, where I grew up was very conservative background, and my parents were open to letting me be me, but there's definitely a lot of people, I think, within that, conservative areas that try to constrict kind of creativity. And I think at first, it took me a second to find my bearing, but I think that if you just stay true to yourself, and my friend always says, you do you, boo. It's like, but he really means it. He's like, you do you, like, don't let people get to you. Don't let like the negativity. You kind of have to just follow that. Like you said, Motivational Monday, like dig within yourself and motivate yourself and find that and realize that your path is yours, and you've got to kind of trust that instinct, and pull that motivation from within. Yeah. And even as a young kid, I think I was doing that.
So a question for you, the music industry's changed so much. Like albums used to be the big thing where the artist would monetize, and now that's changed so much with the platforms. And obviously as an artist, you want to create the art, but you also have to engage with your audience, obviously social media. How are you taking it? How do you feel like the whole arena is moving to an experience with the audience? Where do you see it going?
I love the fact that it's moving towards more of an experience, and the fact that it's allowing things to be way more interactive in different mediums of art. Like, it's not just putting on a show for the sake of putting on a show. I think people are really thinking about the quality of what they're putting into the shows and the entertainment level and the artistry, and mixing different, amazing video design with amazing songs combined with great musicians and great, costume design, and all this kind of stuff is coming in to create really incredible things. And at the same time, you have platforms like Spotify and, Tidal and Apple Music and all kinds of stuff that allows people to put their music out where they otherwise wouldn't have had an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of allowing, on some level, of course it's not there yet, but it's allowing the playing field to be leveled, and I think there's more talent able to come out from different areas of the world, et cetera. There's, as opposed to certain people just controlling it, right. There's much more of an outlet for talent, and that's really cool.
For sure. Really cool. And how about collaboration?
Yes, collaboration is so, I love that genres are just mixing with each other, and there's not really, that's why I don't like to genre. They're like, what's your genre? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, people keep saying dream pop, and I think that I fit nicely there. But, what's a genre these days? Right. It's all about
Same with like our
So fluid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Very
thank you.
fluid.
That's
Yeah.
the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Thank you. Took the word out of my mouth.
Does living in Los Angeles or La La Land allow you to be more free in that? Sans the label, and you know, you mentioned earlier that you felt different. How has your experience in living in Los Angeles helped or hindered you in that?
Oh, it's definitely helped. I mean, and I'm not knocking where I come from. I obviously am very appreciative, and I was given a lot of great opportunities from where I grew up to have kind of, you know, a very normal childhood and experience certain things that were really kind of cool in that way. I went to summer camp and I did certain things that I think a lot of people don't always experience, which were cool and fun like that. But coming to LA, yeah, that changed the game. That took me from being kind of green to, you know, now I'm growing and I'm getting into the pro level and I'm getting there. You know, it changed everything and also allowed me to be very free and not concerned. That's really where I think I shed that worry about what people think of me, which is another thing for a Motivational Monday. Like, you know, you've got to think about like being yourself and not letting like people's opinions get to you, you know, because you've got to stay aware of who you are, you know.
It made a big difference for me. I mean, I grew up in a very conservative town in West Michigan, and when I moved to LA, that's where I felt free. Like free of expectations from the society or my high school or my family or anything like that. I just got to
Yes.
wear what I wanted. I got to be who I wanted. I got to go where I wanted, and that's when I really got to like grow up.
Exactly.
You know?
I feel that so much. I'm so there with you.
So what's next for you in that?
We have another release coming out this Friday called Body Parts. It's a buzz track. And the next Friday after that, we have another track coming out called All Cut Up. And then the EP itself will be releasing on December 14th, which we're really excited about, with a nice big video for a single called Strangers in the Dark. So we're putting out some content to build up here and get, you know, the people with some stuff. We've been getting good response from Beautiful War. In the meantime, my producer and I are cooking up some good stuff because, you know, I'm very into activism. I advocate for multiple marginalized communities. LGBTQ community is very close to my heart. The Indigenous community, Black Lives Matter, homelessness is a huge growing problem in our society that we need to deal with and we all need to have compassion for and be a part of trying to help. And mental health issues, and I think that those all kind of tie together. I was actually talking to Megan about that earlier, about her podcast. But yeah, I definitely, when you use the holidays, me and Adrian, my producer, are going to be working on some stuff to try to give back and do some things. And so that's kind of, my focus is advocating for marginalized communities and putting out music. I want to use my platform to do good, especially being a white woman with privilege. I think I do have a duty to actually, if I'm putting out art, to actually try to make a difference and to not just, if you're putting out art at this point, you should be saying something, especially if you are someone from privilege.
And you are saying something. I mean, even in the titles of the tracks you just said, Beautiful War, Body Parts,
All Cut Up.
All Cut Up. Those are huge messages in and of themselves. Do you write these tracks? What are you looking for in the messages that you're giving?
When I write music, when Adrian and I sit down to write songs, we write, you know, we start with music and then we start with lyrics and we go from a very personal level. I always write from relationships and experiences I have in life, whether it be, you know, personal, intimate relationships, because I date men and women, with men or women, whether it be friendships, various other types of relationships and dynamics, encountering people on the street, the way that people treat each other, and I kind of intertwine those into my writing. But I think, you know, there's the base level of what I'm writing, and then there's metaphors within that, that speak to the bigger social consciousness within the writing.
It's just incredible. You know, in addition to your extraordinary talent, you have this extraordinary heart. And no, truly, and I think what makes your music so special, in addition to the talent, is that you live the music and you live the message. And I think it's just so powerful for that reason. So thank you so much for doing that and sharing that with us.
Well, thank you for having me here. I appreciate it so much.
So, like, what is it that you want your message to be?
I want people to realize that there are a lot of people that have been suffering and dealing with a lot for a very, very long time. And there are people like me and various other people in positions of privilege that, especially people with a platform, like, you know, people, celebrities, et cetera, artists, people out there, people on Instagram with a following, that have the ability to really say something and try to advocate and make differences. And I think that people need to speak up. People need to stop being silent and idly standing by. I think that being complicit is basically being guilty at this point. And, you know, we need to do better. We need to have more compassion for other people. We need to realize how lucky some of us are and how much we have an opportunity to, where if we do really band together, we can make a difference against the hateful things and counteract what's going on to try to actually make what we can do to make this world just a tiny bit of a better place.
It is a beautiful war.
Yeah, it's a beautiful war, and that's very much what it's about. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your art and your message and your consciousness. So important for everyone to be free, have self-expression, and yet have harmony. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Where can everyone find and follow you and hear your music?
You can follow me at Layke Official on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's LAYKE Official, so that's LAYKE Official, and LakeOfficial.com on my website. That'll give you all the information for updates of upcoming stuff and releases, and where you can find out what I'm doing.
Phenomenal.
Right.
Thank you,
so
Layke.
much.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.